Now more than ever, we must make wise decisions to address challenges Americans are facing in Indiana, in my district, and across the country, from combating the opioid crisis to uplifting families. Like many Americans, I have serious concerns about this administration's failures when it comes to all of these major crises. Instead of advancing realistic solutions, the president's budget continues to push the socialist spending agenda that drives inflation and doubles down on reckless spending. Secretary Becerra, when you appeared before us last year, you committed to follow up on many of our concerns, but we haven't received answers to most of our questions, including questions just for the record. But we have received requests for funding. Mr. Chairman, I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record 2 letters that committee colleagues and I sent to HHS in April and June of last year regarding the crisis at the border and the surge in migrant children, as well as its impact on the domestic foster care system. While the crisis at the border continues to get worse, HHS has yet to respond to our concerns.
Ordered.
Thank you. Secretary Becerra, can I get your word that HHS will finally provide a response in writing to these 2 letters?
Congressman, I'm not familiar with the actual letters you're referring to, but we have responded numerous times over the last many months to requests for information about the unaccompanied migrant children program that we have. And so let me make sure that we get you any specifics that may not have been included in those responses.
I appreciate it. Defeating our country's opioid epidemic requires identifying possible ways to treat the very real problem of chronic pain. As a solution, Congress created the Pain Management Best Practices Task Force in the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act. Today, it's never been more important improving seniors' access to safe, effective, non-opioid pain management treatments and medical technologies. Mr. Secretary, can you commit to providing a briefing on the status of the SUPPORT Act implementation, including Dr. Todd Graham's pain management study?
Congressman, we welcome an opportunity to brief you on some of those subjects. We'll just follow up with your staff if that's okay.
Absolutely. And then my third question really quickly is the maternal, infant, and early childhood home visiting program that we all refer to as McVeigh, which is due for reauthorization this year. Your budget calls for an increased funding of $3 billion. We want to maintain bipartisan support for McVeigh with 2 key reforms. We want to measure outcomes and improve reporting on the great work being done by the models in the states. I think you and I both agree this is an incredible program. And we want to continue televisits if evidence proves that virtual visits deliver the same quality, the quality results that we've come to expect.
Congressman, thank you for your tenacious efforts on this particular subject. We look forward to working with you because we absolutely agree that the more we can do these visits, home visits, the greater the chance for better results.
And my final question, Mr. Secretary, does HHS have any recommendations for improvement outside of increased funding, particularly related to making state outcome data more transparent?
Absolutely, and we've learned this from COVID. We really could use a better partnership with our state and local agencies that collect the data. Some are required to report, others are not, and it's been difficult to get uniform participation. We look forward to your help or the Congress's help in making sure that those who are collecting data share it so we can make it available to everyone, because we all benefit from having quality data and more of it.
Well, I will say really quickly that Todd Graham pain management study, we've already received some pretty positive information from your office, and I would really appreciate just your eyes on that to continue to move that along. Super important. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank the gentlelady. Let me recognize the gentleman.